Hi, I would like to demonstrate to you how to upgrade to version 2.6 of JCB. The upgrade is quite a major upgrade because we are removing all repeatable fields in the Joomla component area. Joomla component area has quite a lot of repeatable fields. If we were to open a component, you'll see that the repeatable fields are basically little modals that pop up with values and has been used quite excessively in this view. The reason why we did that is because it's really a very smart field, because it combines these values into one value. Basically, the JavaScript on the page grabs these values and converts it into one value, which when on submission the form only submits one string and not actually several fields. So to me it feels like we're going a few steps back, but I suppose there are some conventional reasons which makes the repeatable field on a subform level more desirable because of its ability to actually validate the data more correctly. Nonetheless, we had to remove these fields because in Joomla 4 they no longer are supported. In doing so, I had to decouple a number of these fields into their own tables because of the size that we would of values that we'll have on the page. The page becomes immensely heavy, and so there's about 9 new tables being added to JCB to accommodate this. So the real change is going to affect only the components area, but because JCB is a very dynamic component that actually integrates with various levels of this data structures, I had to also upgrade the compiler as well as the import and export of JCB packages. We have tested this and it's for the most part those involved in the testing have found that this transition is actually a major improvement to JCB and should be very easy, and you shouldn't have any issues. Those of you that might run into little glitches that doesn't work as you expect, we would suggest that you clean your browser's cache as well as memory. We have found that traces of the old repeatable field structure and the JavaScript surrounding that might clash with the new changes in JavaScript within the new update. So to clear your browser memory, not just the cache, is quite important only after you've done the upgrade and you've started working in different views. You should see that everything works as expected. Now, an area which even at this stage has been reported in giving some conflicts is the dynamic get area. And the dynamic get area basically returns values from the admin area, where if we target, let's say, back-end view and we grab some information, these values are returned from the admin area, where it basically goes to this admin view and builds this structure. Now, as you can see with my demonstration here, everything is really working as expected. If you at this stage would test this area before the upgrade, you should find that it works without any problems. If it doesn't, I would suggest clearing your browser memory and trying again until you can find that this is working as you see mine working here. And the reality is the only thing I've done is I've cleared my browser memory so that there's no old traces of JavaScript. And when I say clear, I mean literally going here to history and just wiping everything. For this domain, if you don't want to clear all of your history, then it's specifically targeting this domain that you are loading your JCB component in. Okay, so that is just a few heads up for the current 2.5.8. The upgrade should be quite simple. The release, I've just released it like 8 minutes ago. So you should just be able to go to updates in your managing area, see that the upgrade is there and ready, click on it and click update. And there we go, the upgrade has been done. If we now go back to Joomla Component Builder, we should see that it's up to date and everything is been done without any errors. If we now go to the Joomla Components area, you should see a view similar to this with a lot of new shortcuts to these different decoupled areas that I mentioned. And if you open the component, not much has changed in regards to where what is located, but how to interact with it is actually been moved. So for example, the component updates, if you see it only has a button here. If you click it, it's going to ask that you first save everything before you continue. If you've done so, then click OK, and it opens the area where you then would do your updates. Usually it was in a module that popped up, and you could change it right there on the same page. Now you simply go to another view and it's basically doing the same. So you just do that. The same goes with your admin view, custom view, site view, and basically everything else. The contributors we've moved down here so you could do them on the page. But for most of the other repeatable fields, we've moved them to their own tables. The fields and the folders we've moved to a joint table. So if you were to click on that, you should be able to easily add some files to your component or folders, all found within this structure as it's explained here in the note. The same is true of all the other areas. It's basically we've moved the admin views to its own tab, so you could access them via this button or via this one. And so here you would see your changes. You could also actually from here directly edit the admin view that you've linked, so it will be able to edit the admin view directly out of your component area. And so that's a nice new feature which I suppose will come in very handy. Okay, so that is really the new upgrade. It really targets the majority of the changes is in the Joomla components area. We do have a lot of data checks all around JCB at this stage, that if during the upgrade we might have missed a field in not converting it to the new subform layout, then even when just opening a view, it actually runs through all those fields and makes sure that it's been changed and converted. If by any means you didn't get around to opening the views and you just go here to the compiler and would click compile, it actually does that again. It runs through all the fields and it makes sure that it's in the right format, and therefore your compiling should work just as before. Now, one of the new features we've added is this translation checker, which basically checks how many strings there is within your component and how many you've translated for this specific version, new language string available for both the front, the admin view, the admin system view, the site view, and again for the another language admin view, admin system view, and the site view. So basically giving you a little feedback on your progress, because we've realized that this area of JCB is not maybe utilized as much as it can be. So we're making some awareness here that this area is available. It only comes and becomes active if you've actually got some language translation, some languages set up. So you need to have some languages in your languages area, and you need to have compiled that component at least once before, because like you know by now that the language string stored in JCB found under language translations is only generated once you've compiled at least your component once. Then it links the component language strings to JCB, and you can translate them into those languages that you've created. The other problem which you now saw there, which regarding to the backup folder, because I haven't set up a backup folder for this JCB install, it'll tell me if I leave this set to yes and I compile, it'll tell me that it couldn't move that backup file because the temporary folder and the backup folder is now the same place. So basically it's saying it couldn't move the file to the same location, and that means this is not really an error, it's just a misconfiguration because we haven't set up the backup folder to be a separate folder from the temporary folder. And then if you need some more help regarding the translation manager, then please go watch this tutorial. Here we do give you a notice that you can, even in the options area of JCB, you can change the percentage of translation required before a translation is added. Currently it's set to 50%, which is actually not set in stone. You can change that to any percentage that you like. Okay, so that is creating a component now with a new upgraded JCB, and having just compiled that, we can go back here and we can see that the component was built and everything is working as expected. Yeah, so thank you for watching this tutorial. If you run into any issues that you think is related to this upgrade, and you have already cleared your browser memory, also note that I'm using Firefox here. Let's see, Firefox 64-bit. Here we go. And then please open an issue on GitHub and we'll try to get back to you and see if we can get this resolved. So far my experience is that this upgrade has taken JCB into a very powerful position where it is now having no repeatable fields anywhere in the component. All its repeatable fields have been converted and is now only subforms, and we've added some nice shortcuts like you've seen to these decoupled areas, which means you can actually access them directly without going to the component view itself. If you wanted to work on, for example, the component dashboard, you want to make some changes to the dashboard, or you want to just work on the admin views, you can click on that link right here and work on the admin views without going to the component directly, which I think is a very nice convenient shortcut, which I suppose will make our life a little easier. Okay, well, again, thank you for watching.